welcome to yoga. I know this isn't quite our usual setting, but we're gonna do the best. We're gonna do the best we can. So find your mat or a blanket, a towel. If you need a pillow or a blanket to put on, just get comfortable. Do what feels right in your body today. Take a moment to get settled in. So start by letting your body be supported by the floor. And bring your attention to your breath. If you like, you might bring your hand to your belly. And start to notice your breath or feel your breath. If you like, you might begin to lengthen or deepen your exhalation. So it might be a fairly normal inhale, and then a longer or slower exhale. If that longer exhalation feels all right, then you might pause at the end of the exhale. So it might be inhale, longer or slower exhale, and then pause. And when you're ready, go back to normal breathing. And when you're ready, take a big inhale. And with the exhale, bring your knees up toward your chest. And roll around a bit on your back. And notice where you feel it. How's it feel today? And when you're ready, let your knees drop over to the right. Your arms might come out into T position. If it's comfortable, your head might turn opposite your knees. Big deep breaths. And when you're ready, with the inhale, bring the knees back up. As you exhale, let them drop to the other side. Big deep breaths. Try to relax into the stretch. And when you're ready, with the inhale, bring the knees back up. Roll around some. And then bring your feet to the floor. Bring your left ankle to your right thigh. Keep that right foot on the floor and we'll move or wave or flap that left leg. So you want this movement to happen at your hip joint. Your pelvis might move some, but see if you can, pretty much isolate it to the hip joint. And then we stop waving with that leg. Keep the legs like they are. Bring them up to your chest. If possible, try not to round your back a lot. Hang out here and breathe. And then when you're ready, drop your legs to the right. Big deep breaths. And replace. Roll around some. And then bring your feet to the floor. Bring your right ankle to your left thigh. Keep that left foot on the floor and we move or wave. Kind of flap that right leg at the hip joint. Notice how this side feels. One side might be different than the other. And remember, we want that movement to really be at the hip joint. Your pelvis can move some, but if your pelvis needs to move a lot, it's trying to move instead of moving at the hip joint. And then we stop waving with that leg. Keep the legs like they are. Bring them up to your chest. Hang out here and breathe. Try not to round your back. And we'll drop the legs to the left. Big deep breath. And release. Roll around some. Bring your feet to the floor. Pick your head up with your hands. Stretch the back of your neck. Set your head back down. Bring your arms into cactus. Try to drop your rib cage without flattening your lower back. Big deep breaths. And release. From here, we bring the hands into wheel preparation. Fingers point toward the shoulders, palms to the floor. Try to draw your elbows so they're parallel. Keep the rib cage dropped. And release. Take a moment, twirl your hands around both directions. Reach both hands up toward the ceiling. Bring the palms together or toward each other. And we reach one arm up so the shoulder blade comes off the floor. Set it down. Reach the other arm up. And we just go up and down, back and forth, both together. And try to really think of that as your shoulder blades moving, your arms moving, your shoulder blades moving. Not so much your whole body rolling. You want to just move the arms. Good. And release. Stretch your legs out. Take a moment, feel how it feels. And then we'll bring the right knee up to your chest. Try to get in the right angle here so you can see. You want that knee to be tracking straight in. Don't let it drop out or cross over. Let the back of your pelvis drop toward the floor. Hang out here and breathe. You might use your arms to pull that knee in just a little bit closer. And then from here, we'll straighten that leg, press the foot up. Yep, try to press it way up, press up with your heel. It may not be perpendicular to the floor, and that's totally fine, but still try to stretch it and straighten it. And then bring the leg down to the floor. We'll do 2 more times. So draw the knee up, press the foot up, down to the floor, draw the knee up, press the foot up, and down to the floor. Take a moment, feel how it feels. Bring the left knee up. Hang out here, breathe. Maybe use your arms to pull that leg just a little bit closer in toward your body. Breathing. And then from here, we'll straighten that leg, press the foot up, way up. Again, it may not be perpendicular to the floor, but just try to straighten it and press out with your heel as much as possible. And bring the leg down to the floor. 2 more times. Draw the knee up, press the foot up, down to the floor. Draw the knee up, press the foot up, and down to the floor. Take a moment, feel how it feels. Find your strap. I know I have a strap. We're going to do half happy baby. So find your strap. We're going to need a block too for the next exercise. So if you don't have a block, you might pause it for a second and find yourself a block. I'm going to be a little crooked again here on the mat so you can see a little better what we're doing. So for half happy baby, you start on your back, you bend your knee, put the strap on your right foot because it's a right week. I'm going to count on you guys to switch back and forth from week to week if you're practicing at home with this. So the knee is bent close to the side ribs. Bottom of the foot is up toward the ceiling. You know, if this doesn't look exactly like I can't even tell if you can tell how it looks. Just do the best you can. From here, we come into half square in the middle. Cross the leg over. Try to press out with the heel and really open the back of that knee a lot. It's really important to get our legs, the backs of our legs stretched out, especially if we're sitting more than usual. Big deep breath. Half square in the middle. Half happy baby. Stretch the leg out to the side. Try to press out with your heel. Open the back of that knee again. You might even press out with the other heel. Half happy baby. And release. Take a moment, feel how that feels. Maybe compare your stretched out leg to your other leg. You might be able to tell a difference. Put that strap on the left foot, half happy baby. Some people will carry their tightness and tension in their hips and legs. So doing leg stretches can really help calm you down and release some stress. So half happy baby. From here we come into half square in the middle. Cross the leg over. Stretch out with the heel. Open the back of your knee. Breathing. Try not to tighten your jaw. Press out with that heel a little bit more. Half square in the middle. Half happy baby. Out to the side. Press out with the heel. And if you're practicing in a smaller space where you might be able to push this foot up against the wall or a bookshelf or a couch, that can give a nice bit of feedback into your body. Half square, half happy baby. It's the last one. And release. Take a moment, feel how it feels. And then find your block. We're going to do this, turn all the way sideways for this one. We're going to do this pose. It's the psoas stretch. I call it the Anita. So what we do is we find a block, pick up your bottom, feet are about pelvis distance apart, slide the block underneath your sacrum. That's the back side of your pelvis, right? Bring your knees up to the chest. If the block is too hard, of course, you can use a pillow or half foam roller, some people like. Tuck your knees way in. This is a great place to practice your deep hip flexion and that knee bend. It's a right week, so we keep the left knee tucked in. We'll stretch that right leg up toward the ceiling. Keep the left knee tucked in and bring the right leg to or toward the floor. Doesn't have to touch. Some people think it's stretchier if it doesn't touch. Some people like to bring their leg a little bit out to the side of their mat, the outside edge of the mat, or even maybe externally rotate the legs so the toes turn out, but the whole leg is turning. Big deep breaths. And bring the leg back in. Bring the knee up to your chest. Hang out here for a moment. Keep the right knee tucked in. Stretch that left leg up. And we bring the left leg to or toward the floor. It doesn't have to touch. It can touch. Either way. If you want, you could bring the leg to the outside edge of your mat, or maybe externally rotate the leg. Deep breaths. And And then bring that leg back in. Hug both knees up to your chest. Stretch your feet up toward the ceiling. Twirl your feet at your ankles. Twirl the other direction. Spell your name in capital letters. Press up with your heels again. Bring your feet to the floor one at a time or both together. Pick your bottom up. Slide your block away. Stretch your legs out. Take a moment. Feel how awesome that feels, maybe. And then we're going to do this bridge pose variation we've been doing, where we have the block between the knees, either the skinny way or the wider way. So it looks like this, or like this. And what we do is get the block in place. And then we're going to come up into bridge pose. So you want to squeeze the block, come up into bridge. You can come up as some or a lot. If you're used to doing the big yoga bridge where you push the weight into your shoulders, that's awesome. Make sure that's okay on your neck. And so we'll do this variation for a few breaths. And if bridge hurts your lower back, don't go up so high, or don't do it, of course. And then there's another variation that Katie Bowman teaches where the ribs are on the floor. The lower ribs are on the floor, but the pelvis is off. This really feels to me like work really quickly. So hang out here in your bridge. Your arms could be overhead at your sides, on your belly. Squeeze the block. Keep breathing. Try not to gnash your teeth. And then we roll back down. Grab your block. Stretch your legs out. Press out with your heels. Feel how it feels. And then the last one in this sequence is the knee squeeze. So again, we have the block the skinny way or the wider way. Skinny way, wider way. There's lots of different options and steps in this one. You could just lie here, have your feet on the floor, have a neutral pelvis, so you haven't tucked your pelvis, you haven't flattened your lower back by moving your pelvis. Pelvis stays neutral. And you can just squeeze your knees on the block. Squeeze it as much as you can. That's option number one. Option number two is to pick the feet up off the floor and squeeze the block. Kind of like this. Still have that neutral pelvis. Haven't flattened the lower back. Haven't tilted the pelvis and rounded the back. You can also scoot your feet away from each other so they're a little wider apart. Each of these steps makes it harder. Trying to stay here a little bit longer. If you want to add one next, even harder variation, you start to bring your legs toward the floor and back up. And, ooh, that's a lot harder. Squeeze and release. Grab your block. Stretch your legs out. Feel how it feels. Set your block aside. Stretch your arms overhead. If overhead isn't If as isn't comfortable, if your arms are really off the floor, then have them more. And you could even do this in T position or V position, or one high and one low, whatever you want. And we'll scoot the arms and legs to the right, so you get a little side stretch. Side stretches are good. Helps our upper body and our lower body move separately from each other, so we can raise our arms without moving our pelvis, right? Big deep breaths. And try to really give your weight to the floor. And release. Come back to center. Take a moment. Feel how it feels. And then we scoot the arms and legs the other way. If you have furniture in the way, you might need to scooch over some or turn around. Yoga is all about flexibility, adapting to the room we're in, the space we're in. Big deep breaths. Release. Come back to center. Take a moment. Feel how it feels. And then this next one we're going to do is squishy archer. And you may want a little blanket or something as a pillow. Not necessarily, but maybe. So what we do is we lie on our side. I think you'll be able to see, yes. It's a right week though, so let me turn around. So we're gonna have the arms stacked, the knees are bent and stacked. We're trying to keep our lower body really stable as we move our upper body. If you have a little pillow, you can use it, or you can just let your head hang. Either way, some people have real preferences. So the right arm is stacked on top of the left arm, perpendicular to your body, and we're going to reach that top arm way forward. Try to let that top shoulder drop. And then we pull that top arm back. And then we reach forward. And it's, I learned this as archer. But I think you want to think about being really squishy in it. So you don't want it to, I feel like archers are probably pretty strict with their movements, controlled. You really want to get squishy, top shoulder drops. Trying to move not just the arm, but that whole upper part of the rib cage. Good. I have some students who've had really good success with this movement and how it makes their shoulders feel. So if it helps your shoulders or you have tight shoulders, try to really add it to your repertoire. And release, take a moment. And then we're going to roll over to the other side. Knees are stacked, arms are stacked, arms are perpendicular to your body. We reach that top arm way forward and pull it back. Way forward and pull it back. Pelvis, hips, knees are staying really steady, as steady as you can keep them. If you want, you can open that top arm all the way out into T position, but you don't have to. Some people just like that stretch. So many good stretches. We could spend hours and hours doing focus stuff. Still not get everything because there's so many good things. And release. Rest for a moment. Roll onto your back. Feel how it feels. Bring your knees up to your chest. Roll ransom. And then come to center and spinal rock. And rock a few times. I have been working on rocking more. Katie Bowman says it's a good overall core upper body, lower body connection practice. So if you're used to rocking once or twice, see if you can do 3 times. You're used to doing 4 times, see if you can do 5 times. And just build your spinal rocking stamina. And when you're ready, come up to table. And we'll do some cats and dogs. So when you are ready, round your back for cat. Move your spine in the opposite direction for dog. And move back and forth. Breathing, noticing, feeling. I know I feel better when I move and stretch. And I think our bodies are so cute because we've done so much yoga over the years that just the practice of rolling the mat out, getting on the floor, not even doing anything, just that much will start to initiate that relaxation response in us. So come back to table. We'll do a few of these slide and glide shoulder blade movements, rhomboid push-ups. Come back up and bring your right foot forward. Good. Slide that left knee back some. Hang out here and breathe. Some folks like to use a little block for this too, so I'll demo that. From here, we straighten the leg. front leg, pull the toes back maybe. And then we bend the front knee, bend the back knee, possibly, but not necessarily. That might feel tight today. Reach back and catch that foot. And then let go of that back foot. Turn the back leg so the foot's back behind. Try to shift your weight forward, maybe. If this is okay, reach that top front arm forward too and keep shifting the weight forward. I think of this as the ice skater pose. The grand finale, of course. And release all the way out. Come into downward facing dog. Try to really stretch those backs of your legs. You can stay in downward dog, or you could do plank. Plank on your elbows, plank on your side. Plank is one of those poses that might start out really feeling very impossible. If it's really hard, you can do it on your knees. Try to keep your body really straight. You could do it on your knees and your elbows, which I think is a hard pose. You don't have to worry about, it's not quite as hard as regular plank. It doesn't put as much pressure on the hands, but you're still getting some good work out of it. And release. Take a moment, maybe rest. And pose of a child. Pose of a child doesn't work, do something else. And when you are ready, come back up to table, bring that left foot forward. Slide the right knee back some, maybe. Straighten, or sort of straighten the front leg. And then we bend the front knee, bend the back knee, possibly catch the back foot. Let go of the foot, turn the leg so the foot's back behind. Maybe shift your weight forward, reach that up, front arm out to the front, reach, reach, reach. Be the ice skater, ta-da. And release. All the way out. Downward dog, plank. plank on your side. If you're just practicing plank on the side, shift your, have both hands on the floor, shift your feet, maybe pick up one hand, come to the other side, come back down, come to the other side. And replace. Take a moment. Maybe resting in pose of a child or sitting on your knees. When you're ready, come to sitting on your knees. If that doesn't work, of course, do something else. Use a blanket or a block or whatever you might want. Turn your toes under. From here, we come into a deep squat. Squats don't work. You can squat on a block. You can squat on, you can sit on a chair. You can do a tall squat. Squats are an important movement in our body. And so if you can do one, you want to keep doing it. So you want to keep practicing it. From here, we'll come into a hanging forward bend. It can be a real flat back, hip hinge, forward bend. You could bend your knees and hip hinge. You could come up and do just a little forward bend. Or if forward bends don't work at all, do a little back bend. And when you are ready, come up to standing. And we'll do a few floppy arms. Make some big circles. Go the other direction. And we're going to do this new series of arm movements I've been teaching lately that Nancy shared with me. So you start like this, and I like to, when I'm pulling my hands back, pull them back like I'm really working on something. Like, oh, I'm pulling my arms back. And you can feel the muscles engage differently than if you just pull your arms back. So pull them back like you're working. Point your fingers in. Point your fingers back and spread your fingers apart. Swing your arms around so the backs of your hands meet. Turn them over. Pull them back. Point them in. Point them back. Spread your fingers. Swing them around. Ping. Turn them over. Pull them back. I really like this. I tend to do it, I think, more times than necessary. Ping. Turn them over. Pull them back. Point them in. Reach them back. Swing them around. Turn them over. Pull them back. Point them in. Reach them back. Swing them around. And now hold them here for a moment. Flip them backwards so the backs of your hands meet, possibly even the backs of the lower part of your thumbs. Good. This can be really hard for some people. Scooch them over to one side. Try to relax your shoulders. Over to the other side. Come back to center. Point your fingers in. flip them down all the way around so they're backwards. Try to keep the backs of your hands coming together. Reach, 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 and release. Whew. Okay. Let's do one more of these. So interlace your fingers. Press your hands away, your palms away. Reach them up. Try to keep your rib cage down though. And try not to arch your back, right? You want your arms to move separately from your pelvis. Bend your elbows so the backs of your hands are on the top of your head. Let the rib cage drop. Breathe. Stretch them back up. Bring them back down. Switch your grip one way. So just scoot your fingers over some. One spacing. Press them away so the palms are facing out. Bring them up and bend your elbows and breathe. Drop the rib cage. Good. Stretch them up and out and release. Okay, one more good arm thing because I think we probably need it. Find your strap. We're just going to swing the strap around, and I usually like to, when I first start this, really let my whole body move, right? If you wanted, you could not let your whole body move, but it feels a little bit like just a whole body warm-up. Go the other direction, and I find that one direction is a lot more natural and easier than the other direction. If you want to make it harder, do we want to make it harder? Let's try it just a few times. Grab your mat, your blanket, your rug, your towel, whatever you got. If it's a really fat mat, it might be too heavy though. And we're going to circle it around like this. 2, 3. Good. Go the other direction. Mat back down. Make it look pretty. Excellent. This can be a little slippery or wobbly, so use the wall if you need it. We're going to do the top of the foot stretch. So reach your right foot back. So it looks like this. And breathe. The more weight you shift onto that foot, the stretchier it is. I find this is universally stretchy for people. Release. Try the other side. Notice if one side's different. If you ever sprained an ankle or broken ankle, that side is probably still a lot tighter. And replace. Good. Okay. So let's do a mountain pose. And since we've been using a block a lot on the floor, I have some students who like to use a block between their knees or their lower thighs in mountain pose. If you want to try that, you can. It helps stabilize your pelvis. I learned this from my yoga tune-up friend, Deneen Vigiano. So either with or without a block, let's come into mountain. Try to feel your feet on the floor. Your pelvis is upright, shoulders relaxed. Be in your body. attention to your breath. And replace. Good. Take a moment. And then do a little bit of this pre-vaulting kind of movement that we've been practicing. And I have a chair here that I'm going to use. It's going to be a little narrow than the bench that we're used to doing. And but it's going to work great. So you want to have your hands either on the seat or the back of whatever you're working with. We're going to bring one foot up and then the other foot. Like that. If you're using a bench, you can bring your foot out a little bit farther. But with a chair, and if you want to really make contact with it, you have to have it a little narrower, which makes the pose a little bit different, and that's totally okay. It's all about flexibility, creative practices. Good. The next time your right foot is up there, leave it there, and we're going to come up onto the tippy toes of the left foot. And just go up and down, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. I always forget to count on these kind of things. And release. Switch so your left foot is up. And we'll do it again. 5 or 6 times. And release. Stand up for a moment. Set that chair aside or come back to your mat. And we're going to do tree pose for a balance pose. If you want to use a wall, you can, or a chair. Help yourself. If you're working on a different surface than what you're used to, you may want to go to a different room and find some hardwood floor or whatever. Be flexible. We'll let the weight shift to the standing leg. Bring the sole of the opposite foot to the ankle, below or above the knee, or the inner thigh. Hands could be in T position, prayer position, or prayer up overhead. Good. Breathing. And replace. Take a moment. Let the weight shift to the other leg. Find your balance. Bring that sole of the foot to the ankle, below or above the knee, the inner thigh. Arms could be in T position, prayer position, prayer up overhead. Take your time. Big deep breaths. Good. Stand for a moment. Feel how it feels. And then we're going to do just a little bit of this lunge kind of movement. And you want that back leg back some. So it's longer than a normal step back. It's a little bigger than that. And we want the pelvis to be upright, and we're just going to bend and drop the back knee. This really varies depending on how long your femur is. So we'll just try not to fall over. Do it a few times. Go down, come up, go down, come up, go down, and come up. Take a moment. We'll try the other side. Step the foot back, go down. Takes a second to get that placement right, I think. Go down. Good. Shake it out some. And then we're going to find a spot at the wall. And we'll do that side stretching tree pose. So we get one more side stretch. You can either keep both feet on the floor and do it. Have your hand at the wall and go like this. Or if you want, you can bend the inside leg and bring your hand to the wall. So it looks kind of like this. It's going to look hard, be hard to see since I'm sideways. Good. And breathe. And if this hurts your knees or doesn't feel stable for any reason to have the foot off the floor, I think it works great with both feet on the floor. And replace. Take a moment. Turn around. Maybe bend the inside leg. Maybe not. Now the outside arm. We add the side stretch. Big deep breaths. And replace. Stand for a moment. Make your way down to sitting. Do just a couple things here, and then we'll rest. All right, so sit cross-legged. If you need to sit up on a little bit of something, you can. And notice which leg is in front. It's a right week, so I have my right leg in front. And we'll make some circles like this. We'll go the other direction. Come back up. Switch which leg is on in front. Make some circles. Go the other direction. Come back to center. Good. Switch which leg is in front. I'm going to have the arms out in T position. If T isn't comfortable, they could be on your shoulders, or make up your own variation. And we're going to try to reach and reach from side to side. And try not to side bend. We know there's nothing wrong with side bending, but we're trying to side shear. So we're trying to move the rib cage past the pelvis. Good. I have a few students who can do a really good head movement opposite their shoulders while they do this, and I can't do it. So if you can, you could add that piece in and really be the belly dancer. Come back to center, release. Switch which leg is in front. Arms out or on your shoulders. Do some side to sides. Good. Add a little arm move. Don't forget though, you want it to be a rib cage shear. I find it's easier, a little easier to go one direction than the other. Good. And release. Sit for a moment. Switch which leg is in front. Do a few cats and dogs. Come back up. Switch which leg is in front. Few cats and dogs. Release. Stretch your legs out. Bend your knees. Have your hands back behind. And we'll let the knees flop from side to side. So you'll start to notice that your body starts to move away from your hands. Start to move up your mat. And that's fun. To reposition yourself maybe periodically, or you'll end up under the coffee table or something. And you could really pick up your pelvis in this, right? That. So the top side of your pelvis is really off the floor. Or you can try to keep your pelvis really on the ground, and the movement has to be done just with your legs. It's a little different. Good. Okay. So one more piece that goes along with this pose or movement, and this can be a little easier if you sit up on something. But you don't have to, of course. Stretch your legs out, and we're going to tuck the feet back to the right. Good. Some people, this is super hard. That internal rotation of the leg just doesn't like it. If it hurts your knee, of course, don't do it. So theoretically, you want both cheeks on the floor. If this is easy, have your knees closer together. If it's hard, have your knees farther apart. And if it's really hard, you may have to straighten that right leg out to the right. So I'll show it somewhere in the middle, about here. We're going to turn the body to the left. So we look over at the left knee. The right hand comes to the left knee. And the left hand goes back behind to help you sit up straight. Good. And breathe. So even if that right cheek's not all the way flat on the floor, don't really pick it up, right? So we know we can do that movement, but for this twist, we want to keep it dropping. So even if it's not fully grounded, let it pretend like it's fully grounded. Good, so we'll twist and release. Stretch your legs out for a moment. Switch sides, and again, knees could be closer in, farther out. Left leg could be stretched out to the side, but you know, find your spot. It's all good. It is really about, you know, being flexible with ourselves. Sit up straight, back hand, the right hand, back behind. The left hand comes onto the right knee, and we turn our body. Remember, even if that left side of your pelvis isn't fully grounded, don't really pull it along with your shoulder. We're trying to keep that shoulder and pelvis moving separately from each other. Good. Breathe. And release. Good. Stretch your legs out. Press out with your heels. Have your hands on either side on the floor, tall through your trunk. Push your hands down. And release. Good. And then from here, take a moment and then get your body ready for relaxation. And since you're at home and relaxing might be a little harder than in the yoga space, you may want an eye pillow or a little towel to go over your eyes to help close out the world around you. You may want an extra little blanket. So get your mat ready, find your blanket. If you want a pillow under your head, find a pillow for your head. You may want a little bit of support under your shoulders. But one way that will cue your body to relax is really to have a blanket on. Have your eyes covered. And to make yourself comfortable. Crown of your head softens. Your forehead releases. Your eyes rest back. Your jaw and your mouth release. Your neck and your throat softens. back of your neck lengthens. Your shoulders release. Your upper back is soft, supple. Your arms release. Your elbows and your wrists soften. Your hands and your fingers let go. The muscles of your chest release and lengthen. Your chest expands. Your lungs fill fully, deeply. Your heart is open and light. Visualize your heart filled with love and compassion, self-love. Your belly releases. Your lower back softens your hips and your pelvis. Release your legs. Release. Very slowly and gently awaken your body, rolling onto your side when you're ready. And take a few moments to check in with yourself, to love and appreciate your body and your spirit. And when you're ready, come up to sitting. Make yourself comfortable. Sit up on a little bit of something if you need it. You can sit cross-legged, whatever. Let's end with the tips of the thumbs and first fingers touching. The other three fingers are straight together and the palms face down. Let your eyes close. Bring your attention to your breath. Place your hands palms up. Let's chant the sound of Om. Inhaling.